Welcome back to Manga Mondays, the show that I should probably mention at some point is now a Monday and Thursday show, but I didn't bother changing the name at all. I'm still in transition, about to move, and I just read Secret of the Princess by Milk Morinaga, which is a Yuri story. I picked this up a while ago, and I finally got around to it. Amidst all the other Yuri I've been reading. I wanted to get back into Milk Morinaga stories, but I figured I'd pick a shorter one to get started with. This is just a one-volume story. It's complete. It's about these two girls who, I mean, you can tell from the cover what's going to happen. So, it's sort of a, not quite a Yuri-topia story, but it is an all-girls school Yuri story, where, we've got this girl who wants to be a princess. We'll call her Princess Girl and her Prince Girl just for the sake of ease. This girl wants to be a princess. She wants to grow up to get married to some guy and just live the rest of her life as a happy bride, because that's what her mom's raised her. Her mom has raised her very traditional and very girly. She's like, you have to be cute, you have to be a princess, you got to get a guy as soon as you leave high school, and immediately you'll be set for life. And she's like, I'm totally down. She's like, that sounds great. My mom seems really happy with her life. I'm going to do what she did. So she's planning that. And then she happens to witness this girl who's like a sort of athletic sports club, heartthrob, princely girl who all the girls at school like. She happens to witness her accidentally break a priceless vase belonging to the principal. And so this girl's like, don't tell anybody, please. And she's like, how about I won't tell anybody if you will date me for practice. She wants to practice because this girl's sort of manly. She's like, oh, I'm going to practice dating with her. And she's like, hey, I have no friends because everyone's afraid of me because they think I'm too cool for them to talk to. So I want to have a friend to hang out with. So they start dating. Both of them think of it as just a fake thing. They're just doing it for the hell of it. But of course, naturally, as it goes, they develop feelings for each other, eventually fall in love. I mean, you know that's going to happen. That's obvious. What I thought was interesting about this story is the fact that it's sort of playing with that idea of girls who like hook up with each other to practice dating, which was like a thing that happened in Japan, like historically that was kind of a thing. And that's what, like, when people talk about Hibike Euphonium and how that show, oh, it was never supposed to be Yuri, it was just the girls are kind of like, they're just intimate, they're just close. And this manga is almost like making fun of that concept by having the characters try to do that and then end up actually falling in love. This girl is just like a super traditional girly girl who thinks she's going to end up with a guy and then gradually realizes, actually, I really like this girl, and the same thing happens with her. So, there's some interpersonal drama with the other kids in the class, other girls get mad at her because they all like the prince, and, it's got some light melodrama. But, and kind of a slightly over-the-top ending. I wasn't sure. The ending was a little bit much with the way that the sort of big, confession finally happens. But man, they do hook up in the end. They become a real Yuri couple. They even move in together. So that's really nice. I'm spoiling the whole fucking thing, but I feel like with Yuri fans, they want to know this stuff up front. It's just the experience of getting to witness it that's gratifying. It's just like, yeah. I know what I'm getting into. I know what this story's gonna be the second I looked at the fucking cover. I just want to experience seeing it happen. And it's pretty cute and fun. I mean, it's real short. They only really, like, hook up at the very end. But, because last time I was talking about Yuri on my Yuri cast, which, incidentally, was recorded ages ago, and then I read like 1,000 Yuri manga, both before and after, which we're all in this goddamn Manga Mondays. This is why I sped up Manga Mondays, because I was reading so much Yuri, and it was getting confusing, because I kept talking about it publicly, but like, all the stuff I was reading, I wasn't, like the videos weren't out about it, and I was like, oh god, this is a pain in the ass. I gotta speed up the production cycle of this. So yeah, like, why was I saying that? Why did I bring that up? Why was that important? Oh, yeah, someone was commenting to me about girlfriends. I had said that was a great place to start for Yuri, and they were like, oh, but it takes so long for the relationship to get started. which I thought was an odd claim because as long as it does get started, that's what matters. Girlfriends is only 5 volumes. It can't possibly take long when it's only 5 volumes long. You can read it in one sitting. And then he had linked some other Yuri manga he recommended, and in one of them, the girls were like fucking in chapter 1, and I was like, okay, I get what this guy's, what he's talking about. But that manga was really short, and I didn't really feel like I got to know the characters. I like this kind of story because you feel it's all about like earning it. Like you fall for each character. You're like, okay, I like what this girl's about. I like what this girl's about. I see how they complement each other. And then as the story goes along, you're kind of like, man, I kind of want these two to be together. Oh, they seem like they complete each other. They seem like they oh man, I can see the writing on the wall here. And then it finally happens, and you're like, yeah, you get the payoff of it. It all works out, and you're like, cool. That's nice, it doesn't fuck around for too long. There's not like a bunch of like there's a little hint of like love triangle and stuff, but it's not taken that seriously. It's just kind of a background. It's really just about these two, and the other characters are kind of like tangentially related. It's just like how those characters cause these two to explore their feelings. It doesn't like veer off into a tangent from what is going to happen. But it is still pretty short, so I won't say it's like particularly memorable, and it's really standard style of story. You've got the girly girl and the masculine one, Although another thing I like about this is that as Princess Girl like falls for Prince, she starts to regard her more as a woman. Like she starts to think, maybe she's not my prince, she is my princess. Like, she is like, I like her not because I think of her as a guy, but because she's a woman that I love. And I appreciated that they didn't try to make her like just a guy, even though she's not very feminine. But yeah, it's pretty cute. I enjoyed it. I don't know how much I recommend it. I don't know if I'd buy it. It's $14. It's a bit much. But I had a good time, and I definitely want to read more Milk Morinaga stories because she's great. And she gives a whole thing at the back end about how she literally actually went to an all-girls school, and like this story is based on like her experiences there. So that's interesting. All right, that's it for that one. Shorter manga. Not a lot to say. Bye.